G fucking M. Day 50 of becoming a profitable trader. Look at this. 50 days into the journey. Feels different. Feels amazing. I've wrote up 5 lessons, obviously. One for each 10 days. And I'm going to go through them very quickly, actually. Because I wanted day 50 to not be a fucking 4-hour video. And yeah, let's get straight into it. 1. Showing up daily will make you better. Every single day when you get on the charts, it's going to make you better. Like, you're getting the practice, and it's like going onto a basketball court, feeling how it feels that day. You're stretching out, you're doing this, you're shooting some hoops, etc. It's annoying, sure. It might even be a little bit frustrating to show up and not receive any results, but trust me, every single day you show up, it makes you better. Because people are already falling off the first day. They look at this and they're like, it's just some charts, right? It's just this, some charts. It's extremely annoying. Yeah, especially if you just had like a big loss that day. You just don't want to come to the charts. And I've had those days myself where it's just like, you just genuinely don't feel like showing up to the charts. You're like, I had a big loss yesterday. I had 2 big losses, 3 big losses. I might have blown the account. And I remember one specific one, which was when I first got I first tried my Funded Challenge. And I was pretty much very close to blowing it. I took a break from the charts for like 3, 4, maybe even 5 weeks. I just couldn't be asked. I was like, nah, I don't care about this anymore. This is stupid. This is this. That's why I didn't get better. That's why I'm not profitable right now. Well, on monetary terms, I'm not profitable. I'll discuss some other stuff later. But once you start realizing, okay, I have to show up, because this is what you signed up for, right? You didn't sign up for just showing up every other day or every 4 days and just doing some trades, and that's you for the day. If you can do that, great, but just understand that you signed up for this. I think that's what a lot of people misunderstand, is that when you dedicate yourself to something and it gets hard, it's literally what you signed up for. It's like joining the Navy SEALs and complaining it's hard. Well, it's supposed to be hard. That's why you joined them, isn't it? So it's a bit of a loop on there. So that's just one. The next trade is completely different. I struggle with this sometimes. I don't do it anymore, obviously, because I did an exercise that just completely eradicated my belief system that it was the same, right? So when you look at a trade and you lose it, you're like, damn it, and then you go on to the next trade. It might not even be on the same pair, it might be on the same pair. And you take a new trade. Understand one thing, those 2 trades are never going to be interconnected ever. The market doesn't know that you exist. That's something you have to remember. Market has no idea you exist. It doesn't care that you exist. The hedge fund managers, the people who are managing the billions of dollars that go through the market, they're not thinking about you. They don't care. They have no idea your position was there. You're not being hunted. You're not being singled out. So when you take your next position, you shouldn't be affected by what happened before. You should just treat it, I didn't lose today. Even if you had 4 losses in a row. Obviously, like you have a risk amount. Don't fucking risk your entire daily drawdown amount. But let's say that you have 1% loss, 2% loss, and you still got another 3%, and you're willing to risk it, right? You shouldn't be entering and being like, I lost the other one. This one is just going to be the same, isn't it? And then you take it, and then let's say it does lose. That's reaffirming to you, they're all connected. Because I lost once, that means I'm going to lose for the rest of the day. Again, I eradicated all this stuff with just a simple trick, which was flipping a coin. So let's say that you have 60% win rate. or 40% win rate, doesn't really matter, but you have an expectancy of 2% to 2.5%. Or let's just call it strict 2.5%. And everybody knows coin is 50-50. Market is off. They say it can only go up and down. I don't agree with the fact that it's only 50-50. If you're on Monkey play, like there was some stupid example given. Oh, if you are Monkey just pressing buy and sell at random, you'd be about 50-50, which is true to a certain extent, right? Not every single position you're pressing, buy or sell, is going directly into your TP because you haven't set that yet. So, and the market fluctuates a lot. But anyways, different. I want to keep this short. Basically, if you take a coin and you flip it, most of the cases, you're not going to get a full, let's say you flipped it 10 times. Doesn't mean that you're going to get 5 and 5. You might get 6 and 4. You might get 7 and 3. You might get 9 and 1. But are those, every time you flip it, is the next one determined on the one that you had previously? What do you think about that? Well, no, not really. You haven't done anything to the coin. The coin is still the same. The coin is not weighted, no nothing. It just means that over a course of several hundred throws, the closer you're going to get to 50%, right? But the first 10, 20, 30, they might be, 60% heads, 40% tails, or 70-30, 90-10. Unlikely, but it can still happen. I've had that case where I had like 8 heads and 2 tails, and I kept doing it, and then suddenly it was 8 tails and 2 heads. It made no sense, but it just reaffirmed to me that it doesn't really matter. Every trade that you take is completely brand new. There's completely brand new information. When you show up to the charts, it's not the same charts that it was yesterday. It has no relevance at all, right? There's some areas that are like key, such as area of interest and stuff like that, but the market you showed up to yesterday is not the same as today. So don't get boggled down by like, oh yeah, I lost this week is really bad for me. Don't ever say that. Don't utter those words. Just be like, okay, new day, new position. Just always have that positive mindset. I don't fathom how having a negative mindset, like, oh yeah, I always lose, is ever going to help you. It's not. It would never help you in any situation whatsoever, right? So, just something to keep in mind. 3, log everything. I was very guilty of this. Log everything as in log all your thoughts, log all your, I wouldn't say emotions is that important. You can do it in certain cases, but if you're pretty much like detached to it for trading, I wouldn't say it's the most important thing out of all of it. Like logging your emotions in the morning and then in the night. I just do it in the night because what am I feeling in the morning? I'm nothing. I'm just looking at the charts. So I did try it in the morning. I just found it quite useless. But yeah, log everything. Record every trade that you take. What was the win? What was the loss? How much did you win per trade? How much did you lose? What's your percentage for the month, etc. Log your thoughts, your thoughts on the trades that you're about to take, the ones that you're currently taking, the steps of which you're taking, and I just think it's like much more helpful to do that because it keeps it organized. Like you can have just writing it on the charts here and just write, yeah, I'm waiting for the 30-minute high low, but I include always like screenshots of like, okay, broke the higher low, broke the higher high, what's my next step, what's the next step, okay, I'm waiting for confluences for this, okay, let's write up the confluences. What kind of trade is it? A, B, C, D. Well, obviously you're not going to take a D trade, but C, for example, lowest you can have, okay, it was a C level. Well, why am I performing better on C times? Well, maybe it's this and this and this. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, right? If it doesn't get recorded, you have no idea what's going on. The greatest trader I know, all of them, always record everything. They have screenshot every trade they take, everything they can get their hands on that consists of any kind of data, they always take it, just because they need to be able to look back and be like, okay, Q1, what did I do well? Why am I failing in this area? Why am I doing this? Okay, but stop loss was good. Never close the trade early. I never closed the trade early, so that's not a weakness I need to focus on. But I do need to focus on maybe taking 2.5% more instead of taking just 2% and capping my profits there. Maybe I'm, missing out on some gains by not trailing my stop loss. Okay, how could I do that, right? So all these different things should be very evident to you. And it should be very organized as well. Just so, it's easy for you to say when people go okay, what's your win rate? And you go, okay, 40%. Okay, how much data do you have? Oh, I have 6 months of data. Okay, that's pretty reliable. Now we can work off that. Not a week. 6 months is pretty fucking reliable. If you dare, taking 4 or 5 trades a week, or let's even 2-3 trades a week, that's still a lot of trades over the course of 6 months, and you can gain valuable data. So it's extremely important to do that. Next, don't settle for less, but don't compare yourself to others. When I was starting this journey, I looked on Reddit, or this could have been, this was before I started. And there were some people who said it's physically impossible to get more than 10%. 10% is impossible to get throughout the market. And I thought, well, that's a bit of a negative thinking. It was obviously on some fucking loser Reddit forum where everybody's just complaining all day. Oh yeah, no, I can't do it. It's physically impossible, right? I was very close to getting that. This month alone, it was 8.16%. And I've been doing this for 50 days, right? 8.16% in a month. Now, obviously, it went down because I took some losses, but I expect some momentum back again throughout this month and the next, 11 days until the month ends. I could see that, right? But here it is. Don't settle for less. Which is, I was okay, I'm doing pretty good. And then there was somebody, so there was a challenge hosted. This dude appears out of nowhere. It was just a challenge, I'll explain it. Get the most amount of percentage gain in a month, and you win this thing, right? This dude out of nowhere just showed up and made 31% this month. So in this month we're talking now, he won the competition. Random dude. He's not a fucking YouTuber, not a Forex trade, not a influencer, none of this. Just a normal ass dude came out of nowhere, made 31%. I was like, what the fuck is that? 31%? I'm over here. I'm like, oh yeah, I made 8%. I'm pretty goddamn good. This man made 3 times more than most people consider impossible, right? So when you're selling for less, it's okay, I want to make 10%, and that should be good. This man is making and there were also other people on the leaderboard making 13, 14, 20%, right? Now maybe you had an amazing stroke of luck, but 31% is that's pretty substantial. You're doubling your money. Well, you're tripling. What is it? You're 31xing your money. It's insane. So when I think about, okay, I'm going to be a profitable trader, I'm thinking, okay, I just need to get 10%. But I shouldn't be aiming for 10%. I should be aiming for 30%. Right? I'm not settling with just, okay, 10% is good. I should always be aiming and being okay, 10% is the bare minimum. Right? 10% bare minimum. Everything else, disaster. I need to work myself up to get 10%. So that's one. But don't compare yourself to others. Which was, I don't know how long this guy's been trading. He could have been a trader for 7 years. And I always think in a sense that I'm watching a cat attack a butterfly right now. That's why I lost my train of thought. Some cat just went on the yard and just started attacking a butterfly. Anyways, I see a lot of people with obviously a lot more capital than I have. And they're posting 30k wins in a single day, 20k, 40k, 50k. I'm like, okay. And then I look at it, and they're risking 30% of their account in a single day. They obviously have a personal account. They couldn't. This shit wouldn't fly in a family account. But I always look at people and they're like, oh yeah, I made $2,000 today. Wow. But then I look at their account, it's like 200k. I'm like, okay, so you made 1% today. I made 5. There was one day where I made 9.82% in a single day. So I was like, wow, that's some sick shit. I could have made $18,000. So, but I don't have the Funday account. So it's just, remember to separate yourself from like, okay, the percentage gain is what matters. The account size will come later. Just focus on the percentage gains now, because it's super sexy to have 5k win, 20k wins, 150k wins, right? But these people are playing with a lot more capital than you are. At least if you're on this journey, 100%. If you're on a 100k journey and you're risking $1,000 per trade, making 1% a day, that's amazing. $1,000. Just remember, if you have $1 million and you're risking 1%, you're making 10k on the same percentage gain. It's just the numbers game where you have to up your funding. But first, just focus on percentage gain before focus on monetary gains. That's just something I learned. So that's something. And finally, to close this point off before 20 minutes, risk management. It is so... It's basically what keeps you alive. I see people do, like I said, risking 30% of their account. Is it sustainable in the long term? I have no idea. Maybe they've been doing this for so long that it's just something that they do. It's like 1% to them is 30%. But risk management is what keeps you in the game. You have to master risk management. You have to be okay with what you're risking. And you have to just be completely indifferent if you lose money. And you cannot double down on your positions. You cannot do anything. You have to be a robot. You have to take 1% of the account, or 2% if you're feeling quite risky. 30% is insane. Don't do that shit. And you just have to stick with it. You have to be like, okay, I'm going to risk 1%, or I'm risking 3% throughout the entire day. And that's it. Do not deviate from it. Even if you're on a small account, you're like, 5k account, I should be risking 30% because it's such a small account. Understand one thing. If you try to do this on a 5k account and you win, you're going to do this on a 100k account and lose. Okay? All the habits that you're building, like, that's why I recommend just get the smallest amount of funded account you can and practice all your skills in that. It's going to be so frustrating when you're making so much money on the count, right? Let's say that you're passing a funded challenge. You're making so much money on the account, but you're not actually making money. It drives you insane, but it teaches you the discipline to actually, okay, not risking 30%, I'm going to risk 1%, I'm going to stay consistent, I'm going to do this, and over time, it builds up. Risk 1%, you make 2.5%. It doesn't seem like much on that one day, but 2.5% per week is 10%. Let's say they even get 5% a week. That's a huge amount of percentage. It doesn't seem like it because you don't have the funding, but don't take that as don't take it as a sign for you to risk more. Just stick with it, and eventually you will get there. All right. I have managed to keep it. Well, I've got 60 seconds left. I really want to keep it under 20 minutes, but these are the 5 things I learned, and I can't even imagine what it's going to be like in 100 days. When I reach 100, we're going to have this discussion again and tell you all the new things that I learned. But gentlemen, ladies, I'd like to thank you for your attendance here. And keep trading, stay on the charts, stick with it every day. Understand there's every single day is a new day. Log everything, don't settle for less. But don't compare yourself to the millionaires who have 10 years worth of experience. It's like going up when you're a skinny kid up to a bodybuilder and be like, I want what he has. You have no idea how much dedication and effort and time and energy you put into it. So, I'll see you tomorrow.